Question 2, Part A. Wei Ming earned $M for each shirt that he sold. He earned an additional $2 for every 5 shirts sold. Wei Ming sold 9 shirts. How much did Wei Ming earn? Give your answer in terms of M. So in this case, 1 shirt equal to $M. Then he sold 9 shirts. In this case, it's 9 times M equal to $9M. Then he earned $2 for every 5 shirts. So every 5 shirts sold will be $2. So 9 shirts is essentially 5 shirts sold or an extra $2. So that means total then be 9 shirts plus extra. In this case, then be equal to $9M plus $2. And there you go. So you put the brackets and that's the answer. $9M plus 2. So we already calculated how much is the total, which is 9M plus $2. And we know the total is $56. So therefore, we're going to write 9M plus $2. We minus $2 on each side. Therefore, 9M is equal to $54. So 1M is 54. Divided by 9, this will be $6. Okay, there you go. That's the answer. Question 3. Raju put 3 coins in a money box every day. His mother also put in 2 coins in a box every 7 days. How many coins were there all together after 45 days? So 1 day is equal to 3 coins. Then we know that 45 days will then be equal to 3 times 45, and this will be equal to 135 coins. Then the next thing is we know that every 7 days is equal to 2 coins. So one group of 7 days is equal to 2 coins. So total groups of 7 days basically equal to 45 divided by 7. And this will give us 6 remainder 3, which is in essence 6 groups. So the 2 coins extra. So the coins extra then be 6 times 2, which is equal to 12. So the total number of coins is equal to 135 plus 12. This will be 147 coins. Right, there you go. Question 4. A pole of length 3 meters was divided into equal parts. When 12 parts were removed, the total length of the remaining parts was 75 centimeters. Find the length of each part. Round your answer to the nearest centimeter. So first 3 meters is equal to 300, or 3 times 100, which is 300 centimeters. When 12 parts were removed, the total length remaining was 75 centimeters. So what this whole statement means is that minus 12p equal to 75 centimeters. Do we know 300 total in this case? Yes, we do. The total here is 300. So total is 300 centimeters minus 12 parts equal to 5 centimeters. So we can just add 12 parts on each side. This will be 75 centimeters plus 12 parts. Then from here, we can just minus the 75 centimeters on each side. And this will give us 12 parts equal to 300 centimeters. So 1 part will then be equal to 300 divided by 12. And it will give us, sorry, we didn't minus 75 centimeters in this case. So this will be 225 instead of 300. So 225 divided by 12, and this will give us 18.75. So the thing is, we need to round to the nearest centimeter. So we round to the nearest whole number, which in this case is 19. So there you go. The answer is question 5. The sum of two numbers is 60. Each number is smaller than 40 and has exactly 6 factors. Their common factor are 1, 2, and 4. What are these two numbers? From the sentence, their common factors are 1, 2, and 4. That means they should be multiples of 4. So in this case, what is the maximum number? The maximum number is smaller than 40. So we list all the multiples of 4 till less than 40. This will be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. Is 40 included? No, because it must be less than 40. Okay, let's go through all the possibilities. So 4 plus 36 equal to 40. So for 4 is 1 times 4, 1 times 4, and 2 times 2, which is 4 in this case. But so this is factor of 4. However, it does not have 6 factors. In this case, 4 plus 36 is wrong. Oh, sorry. So the sum of two numbers must be 60. So in this case, for this 36 plus 24, right? For numbers, 4 plus get 60, current equals 4, 4 plus 56, not 8 plus 52, not 12 plus 48, not 16 plus 44, and not 20 plus 4, 20 plus 40 cannot. Okay, so we are left with 24, 28, 32, and 36. So for 24 plus 36 is 60. Factors of 24, if you were to list it down, it's actually total of 8 factors instead of 6 factors. So in this case, 24 plus 36 cannot be. Then we go for the last one, which is 28 plus 32. So that means for 28 factors of 28, we have 6 factors, which is good. Then for factors of 32, we also has 6. And their common factors are 1, 2, and 4. Therefore, so common factor is 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Therefore, the two numbers are 28 and 32. Question 6, part A. The figure shows triangle ABC. ABZ and XYBC are straight lines. XAC equal to AYC equal to AZC equal to 90 degrees. Measure and write down the size of ABC. So for this, number one is to make sure that the whole line over here, you have a perpendicular line so you can put your protractor and extend the line of BC as long as possible, so at least you know you can get a protractor to see what's the angle. So usually you can just turn this paper like this, so it's easier for you. And after that, have your protractor to be aligned with AB. Let's zoom it in. So in this case, it's roughly around 116, right? Or 115. So yeah, there you go. This is how you answer this question. So part B, measure and write down the length of BC. So BC over here, if you were to just measure on a straight line like this, right? If you have a ruler, if you were to measure it, this would then be equal to 6.6 centimeters, right? Go. And then for question 6, part C, by using BC as the base, that's how you see over here, find the area of the triangle, give your answer to the nearest whole number. So since this is the base, what is the height? So if the base is equal to BC and the height perpendicular, right? So with that, need to know which one is it. Perpendicular means this one over here. It is perpendicular. So that means this part is what we need to measure. So in this case, if you measure it already, this AY is equal to 4 centimeters. So therefore, the area of triangle C equal to half times base times height, which in this case is half, times base is 6.6, times height is 4, and this will give us 13.2 centimeter square, and we round it to the nearest whole number, which is 13 centimeter square. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, 13 centimeter square. Question 7, part A. The table shows the prices of tickets for a tour. Maine bought 2 adult tickets. How much did she pay in total? So one adult is equal to $24. 2 adults would then be 2 times 24. This will be $48. Okay, there you go. So part B, Malik bought tickets for 4 adults and 3 children. What was the least amount that he could have paid? All right, part B, Malik bought tickets for 4 adults and 3 children for the tour. What was the least amount that he could have? So 4 adults and 3 children. So what can we do? So we can actually get package B. That's package B first. So that means remaining then be equal to 4 adults plus 3 children. And then we minus 2 adults, 1 child. Okay? Which basically equal to, this case, 2 adults plus 2 children. Okay? Then what we can do with that, 2 adults and 2 children. So we can use 2 package A. So 2 times package A will then be equal to 2 bracket 1 adult plus 1 child, then be 2 adults plus 2 child. So therefore the total amount then be equal to 2 times package A, and then plus 1 times of package B, then be equal to 56 plus 2 times 6, and this will be equal to $128. Question 8. Yan had 2 bags of sugar, A and B. The mass of sugar in B was 5/7 of that in A. After she added 600 of sugar to A and 1.7 kg of sugar to B, A had 200 gram less sugar than B. What was the total mass of sugar in A and B at first? give your answer in grams. So when it says the mass of sugar in B was 5/7 of that in A, that means B is equal to 5 units and then A is equal to 7 units. So the next part is after she added, so this is B first and then A first, right? So the next statement is after she added 600 grams of sugar to A, which in this case, put this as 600, and 1.7.5 kg. So what's 1.7? 1.75 kg in grams would then be equal to 1.75 times 1000 equal to 1750 grams. So that means this in blue is 1750 grams. Then the difference over here is equal to 100 grams. So that means from this A had 200 grams less than B. So let's write it down. B again is equal to 5 units plus 1750 grams. And then A in the end has 7 units plus 600 grams. So when it says A had less than B, so that means A is equal to B minus 200 grams. In this case, we can swap in the value, 7 units plus 600 grams, and then equal to B, which is 5 units plus 1750 minus 200 grams. Okay, we simplify this. So from the model, you already can guess what the next step is. Okay, so from here, can you guess what's the next step? So from this, if you know how to simplify, then you probably know how to go for the next. So over here, we can minus off 600 grams. So let's simplify this equation. So that means 7 units equal to 5 units plus 950 grams. And then from here, we can minus 5 units on each side. Okay, and this will give us 2 units equal to 950 grams. So if you were to use the model over here, right, then you see that there is 2 units that we will put here. So you just calculate 800 grams and then you minus 1750, and these 2 units over here is equal to 950, not drawn to scale. So in this case, 1 unit will then be equal to 950 divided by 2. This will give us 475 grams. So what was the total mass of sugar in A and B at first? So we know because we've calculated A and B at first. So A plus B at first would then be equal to 5 plus 7, which is equal to 12 units. 12 units would then be equal to 12 times 475, and this will be equal to 5,700 grams. All right, there you go. So that's the answer, 5,700 grams. Question 9, part A. A shop sold 4 types of buns as shown. The number of butter buns sold was twice the number of raisin buns sold. The shop collected more money from the sale of butter buns than kaya buns. The bar graph shows the number of buns sold at the shop. Label the graph by writing B for butter, C for cream, K for kaya, and R for raisins in the blanks below. So basically the blanks are within this graphs over here. So let's go through step by step. So this graph is the number of butter buns. The first statement it says here, the number of buns sold was twice the number of raisins sold. But before that, we always want to get the number of gaps and see how much it's equal to in terms of value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, 5 gaps go to 50. So 1 gap equal to 50 divided by 5. This will be 10. So if we were to calculate for each of this, it will look something like this. 90, 100, 180, and then 150 for these 4 graphs. So from here, can you guess the number of butter buns sold was twice the number of raisins? Since the first on the left is 90 and third on the left is 180. So that means raisin is equal to 90. Raisin equal to 90. And butter equal to 180. Therefore, you put R and you put butter over here. Okay, so the next question is, the shop collected more from the sale of the butter buns than the kaya buns. So let's calculate the butter buns money. In this case is, so the butter bun is how much? 70 cents each. So that means 180 buns times 70 cents. And this will give us 12600 cents, or in this case, $126. Since we know the butter buns is $126, then we can calculate for the kaya. So let's say the kaya is 100. If kaya is 100, then that means kaya money, if 100, will then be equal to 100 buns times 90. This will be 9,000 cents or equal to $90. Okay, so that's 100 But if the other one, cream, is 100, then the cream money, if 100 will be 100 times 80 cents, this will be 8,000 cents, or in this case, $80. So it doesn't really help because cream money and the kaya money is less than $126 for butter bun. So let's try 150 instead. So if kaya is 150, then 150 buns times 90. This will be 13,500, which is $135. So in this case, butter buns 126. If kaya is 150, this means kaya is 135. So actually, kaya cannot be 150 because it collects more than the butter bun, which is not correct. Therefore, kaya is 100 and cream is 150. So if you were to just double check, let's say if cream is 150, so actually we don't need to check if cream is 150 because we want to know the kaya one. See, kaya. All right, therefore, the answer to this is raisins, kaya for K, B for butter, and lastly, C for cream. Right, there you go. So part B over here, what fraction of all the buns sold were butter buns? So we know all the numbers for all of the different buns over here. So how much buns were sold were butter buns? So we need to find the total first. So the total is 90 plus 100 plus 180 plus 150, and this is 520. Then we want to find the fraction for butter buns, and we know the butter is 180 divided by 520, and if you were to simplify, this will be 9 over 26. There you go. So that's the answer, 9 over 26. Question 10, part A. The figure is formed using two identical quarter circles and two identical rectangles. The perimeter of each rectangle is 118 centimeters. Find the radius of each quarter circle. For the quarter circle, if you will look at this, this is the quarter circle the radius of the quarter circle, and this is also the radius of the quarter circle. So this is the radius, the quarter circle, which also means this is the length of the rectangle. So radius of quarter circle is the same as the length of the rectangle. So in this case, to get the length or parameter is basically breadth plus length plus length. Okay? Or essentially it's just 2 breadth plus 2 length. So in this case, we know the parameter itself is equal to 118, and then the breadth is equal to 24. So that means the parameter is 118 minus 2 is equal to 24 times 2, and then plus 2 length. So 2 length is equal to 118 minus 24 times 2, and this will be equal to 70. So not 2 lengths, sorry. Yeah. So 1 length will then be equal to 70 divided by 2. This will give us 35 centimeters. Or in this case, 1 length is also 1 radius. The answer is 35 centimeters. There you go. So that's the answer. So part B, find the parameter of the figure over here. So to find the parameter, we just need to lay out what we have know. So in this case, this part is 35, put here, so 35. And then we also know that this is 35 and this is 24 and this is, this is 24 as well. And lastly, if this is 7, so that means this is also 7. So the last thing that we need to find is this part. I'm going to put in red, which is the circumference of the quarter circle. So parameter is basically 35 plus 7 plus quarter circle plus 24 plus 35 plus 7 plus quarter circle plus 24. So that means it's just 2 quarter circle plus 132 centimeters. So we need to find the 2 quarter circle. So we know the radius. So essentially the 2 quarter circle will then be 2 times 1 quarter times pi, or 2 times pi times radius. So if you were to put in all the numbers, so in this case, pi is 22 out of 7, radius is 35. If you were to them up, it will be 110 centimeters. So the parameter will then be equal to 2 quarter circle plus 132. So it's 110 plus 132, and this will be 242 centimeters. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer for the parameter. Question 11, part A. At first, Tina had a total of 97 small and large magnets. She gave away 4 small magnets and bought some large magnets. The number of large magnets increased by 50%. In the end, she had a total of 114 magnets. How many large magnets did Tina have in the end? Okay, so for this, we know that the total at first for both total of small and large magnets is 97. Then she gave away 4 small magnets. So that means it will be 93. Then after that, she bought some large magnets. So we also know that in the end, there's a total of 114 magnets. So the bought some large magnets after this will then be the additional large magnets, which is basically total in the end minus the 93 in this case, so which is equal to 114 minus 23 is equal to 21. So from here we also know that the number of large magnets increased by 50%. Mean 50% is equal to 21. So how many large magnets Tina have in the end? So percentage of large magnets in the end is equal to 100 plus 50. This is equal to 150%. So that means 100. This is 50% of large magnets. So 150% will then be equal to 21 divided by 50 times 150. And this will be equal to 63. There you go. So that's the answer. So part B over here. Did Tina have more small magnets or large magnets at first? How many more? Fill in the blank and circle the correct word in the statement. Tina had something more small large magnets at first. So from the previous part A question, we know that 150% large magnets or large magnet in the end is 150% large magnet. So that means 100% large magnets then be equal to 21 times 2, which is 42. So this is 100% large magnets. This is at first. So that means small magnets at first. It's basically 97 total minus 42. And this will give us 55. So in the end, that means, so the difference will then be equal to 55 minus 42. This will be 13. So therefore, there are more small magnets at first. So Tina had, sorry, this is the whole statement. Tina had 13 more small magnets at first. What you see over here? There you go. Question 12, part A. Alan and Barry shared a box of stickers in the ratio 3:2. Alan gave 20% of his stickers to Clara, who had none at first. Find the ratio of Alan's to Barry to Clara's stickers after Alan had given Clara the stickers. So at first, this thing, Alan is 3, Barry is 2. So Alan gave 20% of his stickers to Clara, who had none at first. So that means Clara, in the end, would then be equal to 20% times 2 units. This case, this will be 0.4 units. So that means the change will then be for Barry will be minus 0.4 and Clara to be plus 0.4. That means again Barry has 3. Alan has 3. Then Barry n is equal to 2 minus 0.4. This will be 1.6 unit. So this will be 1.6 and this will be 0.4. So the thing is we cannot put this as the, what do you call this? As the units, right? So what we can do is we can actually multiply. So we can just multiply them by 10. So 10 and 10. That's the easiest. So that means this will be 30. This will be 16. And this will be 4. Can we simplify this? Question 12, part A. Alan and Barry shared a box of stickers in the ratio of 3:2. Alan gave 20% of his stickers to Clara, who had none at first. Find the ratio of Alan's to Barry's to Clara's stickers after Alan had given Clara the stickers. So it'll be easier if we were to create a table. So for Alan and Barry is 3:2. So what changed? So we need to find something has changed, right? Which is this 20% of Alan. So that means Clara in the end would then be Alan gave 20%, which means 3 units times 20. And this is 0.6 units. So Alan is minus 0.6 units. And then for Clara, she adds plus 0.6 units. So after or in the end, this will be Alan in the end is 3 minus 0.6. This will be 2.4. So this will be 2.4. Barry is 2. And Clara is 0.6. So now what we can do for this is for the after, we can just multiply by 5, by 5, and by 5. So 2.4 times 5 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10. And then Clara will be 3 units. So therefore, the answer to this question is 12 is to 10 is to 3. There you go. So 12 part B. Barry also gave some of his stickers to Clara. In total, 26% of the stickers in the box were given to Clara. What fraction of Barry's stickers were given to Clara? So from our previous part, we know that after Alan gave stickers, Clara is 0.6. So the final ratio will look something like this. So we're going to work on this final ratio. So the total will be 2.4 plus 2 plus 0.6. This will be 5 units. Then in total, 26% of the stickers in the box were given to Clara. So that means we have to get Clara after Barry gave stickers. It's basically 26% times 5 units, or the total, which is 1.3 units. Then from there, how do we know how much Barry gave away? Because that's what the question is asking. So we just get Clara after Barry gave away, which in this case is 1.3 units, minus Clara after Alan gave the stickers to Clara, 0.6. And this will give us 0.7 units. Then what fraction we just want to know is 0.7, which is what Barry gave to Clara out of Barry's total units. In this case, if you were to scroll up, it's 2 units. So 0.7 out of 2. But the thing is, we can't put decimal. So therefore, we multiply 10 on each side, the numerator and the denominator. And the answer is 7 out of 20. Question 13, part A. ABC is an equilateral triangle, and ACDE is a square. FB is parallel to ED. Find angle FAE. So angle FAE is over here. So how do we then get angle FAE? So essentially, it is an angle on a point. So we need this angle, we need this angle, and we need this angle over here. Pretty straightforward. So that means angle FAE is basically 360 minus the black angle FAB minus the blue angle BAC minus the orange angle CAE, or yellow lah, yellow. Okay, so for angle CAE, I think it's pretty straightforward. Angle CAE is part of ACDE square. Square ACDE. So that means angle CAE is equal to 90 degrees. There you go. So now the next thing is we want to find BAC, which is the blue angle. So for the blue angle, what is the blue angle over here? This is part of the equilateral triangle. In this case is ABC, right? ABC is an equilateral triangle. So angle BAC is part of the equilateral triangle ABC. So that means angle BAC is 60 degrees. And lastly, we need to find this black angle over here, which in this case is angle FAB. So for angle FAB, how do we get this angle? So for angle FAB, we essentially just get one other angle, which I will highlight in green. This other angle, okay, or this angle, right? Angle FAC, which is in green. And then we minus 60. So for angle FAB over here, how do we get this green angle? So this green angle over here is actually part of this shape, which is angle or shape FACB. So what is this angle FACB? So you cannot guess, but we know from the statement FB is parallel to ED, since ED is parallel to AC because it's the sides of the square. That means FBCA is a trapezium because AC, which means AC is parallel to FB. So AC is parallel because AC is parallel to FB. So therefore, this green angle FAC is equal to 180 minus 68, and this will be 112 because it's adjacent angle in trapezium. Since we know FAC is 112, then the next thing is we can get the, actually we don't need the black angle actually, because yeah, but let's get the black angle since we already have done that. So for the black angle over here is FAC minus 60, so 112 minus 60, and this will be 52 degrees. Since we know all the angles at a point, then we can find angle FAE, which is basically 360 minus FAB minus BAC minus CAE. In this case, is equal to 360 minus 52 minus 60 minus E, and this will be 158 degrees. There you go. So the answer is 158 degrees. So question 13 part B, find angle FBD. FBD is over here like this. So to find angle FBD, what you need is basically this big blue angle minus this small little red angle over here. So earlier we have found out that this whole thing over here, FBCA, is a trapezium. So to get this blue angle over here, we just need to find this green angle over here. But before that, let me add the equation that we wanted. So angle FBD is equal to angle FBC minus angle CBD. So to find angle FBC, which is blue, we need to minus 180 is equal to 180 minus this green angle BCA, which is in green. And the thing is, angle BCA over here is part of equilateral triangle ABC, which is this part over here. So that means angle BCA is equal to 60 degrees. Therefore, angle FBC, the blue color angle that we're looking for, is actually 180 minus the green angle, which is 60. And this will be equal to 120 degrees, as what you see over here. So now we know 120. The next thing is we need to find this red angle over here. So to find this red angle over here, what shape is it part of? If you were to guess this is the shape from this triangle over here, then you're right. So this triangle over here, what type of triangle this is? Okay, so if you guess this is an isosceles triangle, you're right. So the thing is that AC is equal to CD, as they are sides of a square. And the thing is AC is equal to CB, as they are sides of the equilateral triangle ABC. Therefore, AC is equal to CB, which is equal to CD. Means AC is equal to CD. Oh, sorry, AC is equal to CB. Yes. Or CD is equal to CB. Okay. So, which makes BCD an isosceles triangle. Okay. And we know that from earlier. So, to find angle CBD, it is basically equal to 180 minus angle BCD, then we divided by 2. So BCD over here is, let me just highlight it, it's in black. So how do we get angle BCD? So the thing is that angle BCD is actually this 60 degrees. So it's basically BCA plus this other angle, which is ACD. So the thing is that since we know BCA is 60, what about ACD? So angle ACD is equal to 90 because it's part of a square. Therefore, BCD is equal to 60 plus 90, and this is 150. So from here, we can actually get the red angle. In this case is 180 minus 150 divided by 2, and this will be 15 degrees. Okay, since we know the red angle CBD 15, and we know this blue angle is 120, then we actually can get the answer. So angle FBD is equal to FBC minus CBD, which is 120 minus 15, and this will be 105 degrees. There you go. So that's the answer. 105 degrees. So question 13 part C, circle the words that EFBC, which is in green, accordingly. So FBC is a trapezium, not parallelogram, because when we calculated all the angles here, right, AFBC is a trapezium. Reason is because FB is parallel to AC, that's what we see over here, but AC is not parallel to BC, what we see over here. Okay, so we got the degrees to prove it right. Because if it's a parallelogram, that means opposite angles. So angle EFC be equal to angle AFB, sorry. Means opposite, but they are not the same. So AFB 8 degrees, ACB is 60. So if it's that means opposite angles, AFB and ACB is the same, but they are not. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer. Question 14, part A. The average mass of the 3 tins of canned food shown is 420 grams. The mass of each tin is 3-digit number. The labels on 2 of the tins are partly torn. Find the total mass of the tin of sardines and the tin of beans. So we know from the question the average mass of 3 tins is equal to 420 grams. So now we know that it's 420 grams. That means the total mass of the 3 tins is actually equal to 3 times 420, and this will be equal to 1260 grams. So we know that the mass of corn is equal to 430 grams. So that means the total mass of the tin of sardines and tin of beans will then be equal to 1260. minus 430. This will give you 830 grams. So the answer is 830 grams. So for part B, the labels on two of the tins are partly torn. Find the largest difference in mass between the tin of sardines and the tin of beans. So we know that the total mass for both the sardines and the beans are 830 grams. So in order for us to get the largest possible difference, that means we need to get the highest number weight of either sardines or beans. So let's say sardines highest is 499 grams. That means beans then be equal to 830 minus 499 grams, and that will be equal to 331 grams. But the beans must be 0.09. So the beans have to end at 009 grams, right? Because from the picture, beans is 0 something something 9 grams. So that means we need to make these beans not to 331 but to 339 grams. That's what I see over here. So which means sardine is 830 minus 339, which is 491 grams. So therefore sardines is 491, beans is 339. Therefore the difference between sardines and beans is 491 minus 339, which is equal to 152 grams. And that's the answer. Question 15. Rafiq cut a large rectangular block in two smaller rectangular blocks, A and B. The volume of A was 384 centimeter cube, while that of B was 1056 centimeter cube. The height of B was 14 centimeter more than of A. Find the height of the large rectangular block. So essentially, I've drawn A and B as what I see over here. So the thing is that if you were to compare the heights from the question, this A is shorter. So I'm going to put here as A, and then this is as B. So the difference between the height of B and A is basically 14 centimeters, something like this over here. So 14 centimeters. So which means we actually can get the height over here. I mean, we can get the volume over here. So the difference, so the difference in volume, it's basically 1056 minus 384. And this will be equal to 672 centimeter cube. And since we know the height of this difference over here, I'm gonna put this as the difference or the difference block, right? So the difference in height is equal to 14. So that means the base area, right, for both A and B would then be equal to difference in volume divided by difference in height, which makes this 672 divided by 14. And this will be equal to 48 centimeter square. So now we know the base area for B in this case. So find the height of the total large rectangular, what do you call this, thing over here. So how do we do that? Basically, we get the total volume of large rectangular block would then be equal to 1056 plus 384. This will be 1440 centimeter cube. Then after that, since we know the base area, so height of large rectangular block is basically volume divided by height. So the volume is 1440, and then we divide it by height, which is 48. Sorry, volume divided by base area, not height. Base area. So we divide the base area 48, and this will be 30 centimeters. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, 30 centimeters. Question 16, part A. At first, Devi, Eric, and Hazik had some money. Devin and Eric donated the same amount of money to a charity. Hazik donated 3 times as much as Eric. Devi donated 1/4 of her money. Eric donated 2/7 of his money. And Hazik donated 2/5 of his money. At first, who had the most amount of money and who had the least? So this is the equal fraction or same fraction concept. Reason is because Devi donated the same amount of money to charity. And at the same time, it says here Devi and Eric donated fractions of money. So that means 1/4 of Devi is equal to 2/7 of Eric. So that's step 1, find the equal fraction. In this case, 2. Then step 2, make the numerators the same. So in this case, it will just be 2 out of 8 Devi equal to 2 out of 7 Eric. Then step 3, convert to units. So donated for Devi. So Devi donated is equal to 2 units. Then Devi total is equal to 8 units. Then Eric donated 2 units. Eric Total is 8 units. Now the next thing is Haziq donated 3 times as much as Eric. So that means Haziq donated 3 times as Eric donated, means it's 3 times 2 units, which is 6 units. Since Haziq donated 2/5 of his money, so that means 2/5 money is equal to 6 units. 1/5 money is equal to 6 divided by 2, this will be 3 units. And then 5/5 money would then be 5 times 3 equal to 15 units. Therefore, Haziq has the most amount of money. And for this total, the least is, Eric is 7 units. So Eric is the lowest amount. Eric has the least amount of money. Is in this case 7 units. Okay, so that's the answer. So question 16 part B, the 3 children had a total of $1,560 at first. How much money did Haziq donated? So let's find the total. So total units, total money in units would then be equal to Haziq plus Eric plus Devi. In this case, 15 units plus Eric is 7 units, and then plus 8 units, this will be 30 units. And total money, dollars, would then be equal to 1560 dollars. Okay, so that means 30 units equal to 1560. Then Haziq, how much did he donate? He donated 6 units. So 1 unit is equal to 1560 divided by 30. This will be equal to $52. Then 6 units is what Haziq donated, equal to 6 times 52, and this will be $312. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, $312. Question 17, part A. Rectangular piece of paper with length 50 centimeter is folded along the dotted line AC, where BC is 1/4 of BD. The paper is then cut into X and Y as shown in figure 3. The perimeter of Y is 60 centimeter longer than the perimeter of X. Find the length of BD. Alright, so for question 17 part A, we want to find the length of BD. First thing first is, from the question, it says the perimeter of Y is 60 centimeters longer than perimeter of X. So it's basically Y minus X, or the difference is 60 centimeters. Then from the question, it says BC is 1/4 of BD. So that means if we were to zoom this in, BC is 1 unit and BD is 4 units. That means CD is 3 units. Then we need to find, since we know the equation Y minus X is 60, we need to find X parameter. So X parameter over here, if you were to put the different lengths and breadth each, you have 50 centimeters from the graph above. And when you fold, right, this part is also 50. Then this 1 unit BC is folded as well. So that means this length is also 1 unit. So that means the X parameter is 100 centimeters plus 2 units. Then for Y parameter, basically we just also get whatever we calculated. So these 4 units over here is the length of the rectangle plus 3 units, which is CD that we have calculated earlier. And then from the cut part, we have 1 unit. So this part is also 1 unit. This is 50. That means this is 50 as well. Then this length also is 50 because it's part of the rectangle. The Y parameter, if you add up, is 100 centimeters plus 8 units. Then from the equation, Y minus X, this is 60 centimeters. So we just put in the value Y, which is 100 centimeters plus 8 units minus. So you must put in brackets because when you were to minus it off, then you will not get any mistakes. So X is 100 centimeters plus 2 units. From there, if you were to simplify, so minus 100 centimeters minus 2 units, this will be 60 centimeters. So if we were to simplify this equation, 6 units, 60 centimeters. 1 unit would then be 10 centimeters. And we're looking for BD. So that means 4 units is BD, because earlier we calculated BD is 4 units. So 4 times 10 is 40 centimeters. So the answer for part A is 40 centimeters. So question 17, part B, we want to find the area of Y. So to get area of Y, what we need to do is we need to get the whole rectangle over here. So Y is basically this whole rectangle. And then you minus X, because X was cut out. So how do we find the rectangle? Pretty straightforward. We know the length is 50, is this part, and then the breadth is 4 units. So the breadth over here is 4 units times 10 is equal to 40 centimeters. So you multiply 50 by 40, this will give you 2000 centimeters square. For X area, it consists of 2 right angle triangle because this part over here is part of a corner. So which makes this a right angle. So that means the length and breadth over here is 50. So the base is 50 and the height is 1 unit. So that means the triangle is half times 50 times 10, which is 250. That's one triangle. For X area, it is a folded shape, which means it is the same triangle, which is 2 times the triangle. So X area is basically 2 times 250. This will give you 500 centimeters square. So the whole rectangle minus X area will give Y area, which is 2000 minus 500. And this will give us 1500 centimeters square, which is the area of Y. So that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.